What's going on, everybody? I'm on my sit down, and you know when I'm on my sit down, that means I have an in-studio interview. Now, everybody can't get the in-studio invite, but I tell you what, if you're a Memphis Tiger, especially a Memphis Tiger legend, you get to come right here. And today, not only do I have a Memphis Tiger, I have a Memphis Tiger legend, my guy, Calvin Austin III. What up, Cal?
What up, what up, what up, Doc, man, the legend, good to see you.
Man, you too, man. You turned into a Pittsburgh Steelers legend. But first of all, man, for people that don't know, Calvin Austin III, Pittsburgh Steelers, going into your fourth year now, right?
Yes, sir. Straight
balling out, man. First of all, how you doing, dog?
I'm doing good, I'm healthy, you know, been training, I've been going well, and so just getting ready for camp now.
Talking about training and going well, y'all been making a lot of noise here, a little news here last couple of months, man. Got a new quarterback, you know, Aaron Rodgers, man. You just left, I know you just left Malibu, training with him and some of the other receivers. Tell me about that experience and how it went, man.
Man, just like you said, for me, I like growing up, you know, I loved watching football, NFL, so playing with Aaron Rodgers to begin with, you know, is something that's just very cool. But being out there with him in Malibu and really, you know, talking one-on-one with him and the rest of the receivers and really seeing just like how he thinks about football and he thinks about the game. Like, you know, he's just, you know, for example, going over 2 minutes and, you know, what his mindset is. And his mindset is, you know, he's saying like, you know, we're going to do this because I know the defense is going to do this and they don't want to do this. And it's like, man, you just see with that experience, you know, that and playing with a Hall of Fame quarterback is like, it's going to be special.
Anything else you learned from him, man, as far as, you know, he can teach you how to reading offenses, but a lot of times, man, a lot of these guys, man, teach you how to be a professional and what he's looking for out of you as a receiver and him being a quarterback.
Exactly, and that's one thing he made it. Because, like, just like you said, you know, sometimes you can be given too much or sometimes they just say too much. He just broke it down, you know, like, hey, get open on time with my feet and cadence. And it's like, anything else we can work with. You know, it's not like this, you have to be here, He lets you play football, and that's probably one of the biggest things, you know, just like his success with Devontae Adams, just letting him go out there and play football, run those routes that you see and be like, man, that's a crazy route. But, you know, having that freedom and having a quarterback that empowers you and that trusts his guys to go out there and make those plays, that's probably one of the biggest things I learned is just, you know, he's all about as long as you are a guy that's going to come in and learn, you know, listen and and not make excuses, you know, everything else he can work with. So, and I think when we was out there just building that chemistry and him, you know, actually seeing how we can run some routes can make it to where he knows our playing style even better and can go to the coach and be like, hey, you know, I know this guy can run this or this guy can run this.
And just talking about how was you all's first meeting? What did he know about you? Because, I mean, going into your first year, fourth year, the first year you were hurt, man. But last year you balled out, young. I'm sitting back in the end. I said, my guy is doing his thing, man. 73, 78-yard punt return, but not only that, almost 600 yards receiving, man, 4 touchdowns. What did he know about your game? Because I saw your game take a whole nother step last season. I know it can take even more steps with, I don't want to say nothing about no former quarterback, but you have a quarterback now that will toss that thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I met him, one of the first things he said was about my speed. And, you know, obviously that's my main thing and something that, you know, got me to the point I'm at today. But one of the other things he was talking about was, you know, me going over the middle to make those tough catches. And that was something that I just really worked on last year and wanted to show, really, just that, you know, I'm not just a straight down the field speed guy, you know, tough third downs, you know, across the middle. I'm that guy that can make those catches and can, you know, show up in those big time crucial moments.
And talking about that, cats don't understand, man, when you're a slot receiver, dog, you got to go across the middle. You got to be fearless, man. I know a lot of times cats be looking at you, they be like, oh, come on up in here, little man, I got you. But you show that heart and that dog, man. You're not scared at all to go across that middle, man.
And you know, that's where you earn your stripes. That's where you earn the respect of your quarterback, the team, the coaches, you know, when you make those catches. And that's be my biggest thing. I'm like, I already know they probably, you know, underestimate me a little bit. So when I do make that catch or take that big hit, you know, I'm getting up, you know, popping it like, yeah, come on, that ain't nothing.
Now, you always seem to be underestimated. Coming out of Harding, man, people look, you walk on in Memphis and do your thing, bro. I mean, I don't know what's up with you walk-on receivers, man, walking on in Memphis doing your thing. Anthony Miller, you come behind him, man, just talking about always having to prove yourself and how that's made you tougher and made you succeed even more on this National Football League level?
You know, because one thing that I learned since I feel like being in the league is that with the more freedom that the league offers, you know, you're not going to school or anything, it really is going to highlight who you truly are and your character. And so, I mean, you know how Memphis is, like, you know, especially being a walk-on, the only way I could get to where I wanted to be was, like, through grinding and working hard. I remember after my first year there, like, I was like, man, my hands aren't what I thought I could catch. I wasn't even thinking about I couldn't, you know, I'm like, but nah, my hands, I need to get my hands better. So, you know, me and Kyle and Watkins that whole off season, when I mean like we grinding on the jugs, working out, sand pit, you know, like we really grinding. And so sometimes, you know, when people, you know, see you at that, get that success, they're like, oh, you know, nah, he's fast or he was this. It's like, no, I really had to grind and work to get to where I was. And so that way when I get to the league, my mindset is like, I've been so programmed to be that way that, you know, working is gonna get you the result that you want, that when I get to the league, it's just gonna highlight that even more to the point where each off season, I'm like, especially this off season, I'm like, I finally played, you know, a complete season, you know, started all the games and everything. I can really go into this off season and work on the things that I know I need to work on because I've gotten those game reps. And so, you know, just being in the league has just taught me that whatever your like true character is, it's gonna show.
And I have so much respect for you because not only are you in the league on the team, bro, you're a starter, dog. Cats don't understand how hard it is to get to the league. Then to be a starter. So now, man, you know, Zach Azani, man, you all as wide receivers coach, man. He says, oh, you know, we got DK Metcalf, and I'm gonna ask you about big DK. Yeah. But he's like, oh, Calvin, oh, that's definitely a wide receiver too. That's a big step, and that's a big statement for somebody like Zach to make, having that kind of confidence in you, man. How does that make you feel, him having that kind of confidence in you? And I'm pretty sure you're able to show up at mini camp and you're going into training camp on a whole nother level of confidence.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously to hear your receiver coach say that about you, you know, really means a lot. But, you know, knowing who Coach Z is, he's just a workaholic. Like, all he think about is work and, you know, how we can get better. So, you know, I think him saying that is just him knowing how my mindset is and how I'm wired is just about work. You know, he wouldn't say that if I was someone who would, you know, take it and run with it and stuff. Like, I don't even really like to pay attention to it. I just like to continue to be on that path, because when you get to a certain point, you realize that that God put you on this earth for a certain reason, that you have to run your race, and it's really, you know what I'm saying, it's a you versus you thing. Like, I'm constantly in competition to be better than myself. And so I think that's one of the reasons he said that, because he know, going into this off season and going into camp, that I'm gonna definitely be ready.
And got a new number one receiver. Number one, man. Big dog's a big dog.
Yeah,
DK Metcalf, man.
Yes,
how has it been working with him and in the wide receiver room? Because my man is a superstar. Not only that, dog, I mean, he do like a giant, man.
And, you know, me and him hit it right off as soon as he came. You know, he from the SIP, you know,
yeah.
Southern guy. So one thing about him is just you can see why he's had the success he's had, just the way he works. You know, we was out in Malibu one time, he was running a go route, and me and the other guys, the other inside receivers were done on the other end. And just seeing him take off, like knee lift, the drive, I'm like, man, who want to be in front of that, guard? You feel me? Like, who want to be in front of that? But, you know, just I feel like what he brings to our team, just in terms of who he is as a person, is going to be something that's big for us. And, you know, when we was out there, he's just one of the guys, you know, constantly just, you know, asking us, oh, how did this route look? What do y'all call this? Constantly wanting to learn. And so, you know, I think if we just all come with that mindset, we're going to be big this year.
Now, that's what, see, people think he coming in and you all learn from him. It's a two-way street. He's trying to learn from you all too. And I say, man, when cats come in, superstars like that, it's like, to me, it shows a humility, a lack of ego, because he know he the big dog receiver, but he's reaching out to, you know, young receivers like you to try to learn as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, that earns our respect right off the bat. You know, he's like, I mean, like I said, he texted me one time when he was asking me how was his routes looking and stuff, and I told him the same thing. I'm like, look, if you see anything you think I can do better, like I'm not one of those guys who's gonna be like, nah, I don't. You can't do it better than me. So, and I'm like, the only way, cause I'm like, man, we trying to win a Super Bowl. So I'm like, the only way we can get there is if we all like really be brothers and really can come up to somebody and be like, hey, you ain't practicing how I think you should, how I know you can practice, or I think you should do this on this route. We all got to be, receptive to that tough, but needed criticism.
Now, you got a camp coming up. Talk about it, man.
Yeah, so I'm having a STEAM camp on July 19th. I partner up with local organizations in the city to select 50 students from low socioeconomic backgrounds, and the main point of this camp was I just wanted to show kids something different. Obviously I'm an athlete, and glory be to God that I made it to the NFL to where I wanted to be. But one of the coolest things for me, for example, is my sister is entering her last year of dental school. And so to me, it's more impressive what she does, studying, reading, and everything. And one thing I also realized is that some kids aren't even exposed to certain jobs, certain things that they could be good at. And so with this camp, we're gonna, have different, kids are gonna like have an egg and build a shock absorbing helmet over it to just get them to think different, get them to have their mind on, yes, you can be an athlete, you can, and if you are, obviously work hard and do your best, but you could be a doctor, you could be a nurse, you could be a dentist, you could be a lawyer. There's so many other things that, kids are capable of, and just, hopefully, I understand the role model that I am for some kids. So just possibly them hearing me say that, I think it's cool. I think it'd be the coolest thing to be a lawyer, just to know that how much they had to read, how much schooling they had to do, the grind that they had to get to the point they at. I think that's the coolest thing, you know what I'm saying? So like, of course, if you want to, be in the NFL, NBA, like work hard, do your best to get there, but also know that you can be anything else you put your mind to. And so that was kind of the point of this camp. And we have it at 50 students this year, but Lord willing, in the future years, want to open it up to more and more students, just to provide them that opportunity to just gain those experience and hear from people in different professions.
Yeah, man, that's why I loved it so much, man. When you reached out to me and that you was throwing a camp, I had nothing against football, basketball camps, man, but I'm like, man, everybody can't go to the league. Everybody can't do that. Quit pushing out. I mean, got no problem with it, but constantly pushing out young people to the league when less than 1% make it there. I'm like, there are so many other different avenues. So when I saw you, I was like, I said, the young Royal got engineering in there. He really teaching them something, man. So I guess you kind of explained the thinking behind that, but to you, I appreciate that, and I'm glad you're doing that. And what has been the feedback from some of the young people you all have selected?
They're excited. I mean, and some of them, they're just ready to come and experience it and learn what it is. Some of the things they haven't even heard of, and so that was really the main thing, is getting those kids the opportunities to just participate to, down the line, they'll be like, going to college, maybe picking for a major, like, when I did this math equation or solved this, 40 time or something, I remember that math it came easy for me, so I'm gonna do this major for this reason. And so that's really the goal behind it, is to just, just change their mindset, and just to hear their excitement, just to come and participate throughout the whole day gets me extremely excited.
Now, lastly, before we got here, I got to ask you, man, Aaron Rodgers, man, great quarterback, man, but like you ain't partaking none of that ayahuasca. He ain't had y'all in no dark room standing on your head and chanting stuff, did he, dog?
No, sir, we were throwing them fade balls, you know what I'm saying? Yes, sir, yes, sir.
So anything else you want to add, man, before you get out of here, man?
I just want to thank you for being who you are for this city, and for us young guys too, man. You are definitely an emblem in this city, and that's one of the reasons why I reached out to you, because I know that, you know, the message that you speak, I knew that you would be the perfect person for me to tell about this camp, and so I just thank you for all that you do for the city.
No, man, I thank you, man. See, let me tell you something. It's a lot of professional athletes, man. They get a little ego. Even, you know, Tigers, they'll come back, man. You know, sometimes, because I'm the type, I'm like, no, I'm not speaking to them first, man. I'm 52, man.
Yeah,
you don't speak to me. But every time I see Cal, yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. How you doing, sir? I'm like, you ain't got to call me sir. We Tiger brothers. Respect, but man. That's the respect and lets me know how you were raised, man. So I'm extremely proud of you, man. And you said it's your first time at Action News 5 Studios, man. I'm glad that you came down here to chop it up with me, and I'm extremely proud of you. So keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you, man.
Anything you want to add before we get out of here? It's on you. Your floor. Anything you want to talk about? You good?
I'm good.
Okay. Appreciate you. My guy.
You.
Calvin Austin III, Memphis Tiger legend, Pittsburgh Steeler legend to come.